trend of horror films is ongoing. Once again, we are blessed with another treasure that will surely leave you with a smile. What's up, everybody, and welcome to my review of Smile. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking here. I really do appreciate it. After witnessing a terrible tragedy, Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. So this is a film that I've seen plastered everywhere, with the ads and the previews and the posters, you name it. This was definitely on my radar, you could say. I was down from the jump. Although it did get a little tiresome watching them constantly because it was plastered everywhere, which is a downfall for me, which I'll get to later. So for now, let's start off with the positives for Smile. And I have plenty. First and foremost, this actually felt like a first-class horror film. Now, I'll always admit that slashers is the dominant. I grew up with them. In other words, I've seen them from the start of my horror movie experience. It's just something that's going to be attached to me. It's just going to be more enjoyable to me. But there's no denying that Smile actually felt like a genuine horror flick. It felt like something I've never seen before. And it's mostly due to the upside down shots. There was plenty of shots in this, not constantly, not where you have to turn your head all the time, but there was plenty of shots in this where it shows it in the trailer to where you see a elongated shot of like some woods or a road, and they just happen to have like the camera at an angle to where it's like completely upside down, where you're looking at this movie completely upside down. Like everything in it is just upside down. But it was like mostly with these shots, with the long, expansion shots of like a forest, or when a character was in their car going to the woods or whatever. And you get plenty of that here, and it's something that I've never really seen, in a horror movie, that is. You'd see like tilted shots, but like this, I've never really seen that before, and it was pretty enjoyable. It was something new. It was a new experience for me. And that's one of the things I really got to give this movie props for. It's just the way this movie looked. The way it was lit, it looked very gloomy. It was very dark. Again, about that shot, about the upside down shot, I don't know if that was director Parker Finn's choice. It probably was. He did a really good job on it. Especially with the lighting and the coloring and just all that gloominess feel of this movie. It made the tone very dark. It's very surreal. I had that very feel of dread that you know what you're watching, and it's like basically in your face, but in a good way. It's like very just on the screen, and you can definitely tell that this movie isn't playing around. It's called Smile, but it'll leave you with a frown. But in a good way, in a horror sense way. You could just feel the trauma and terror. It had a great flow, and it's something I really did appreciate. I deeply appreciate it. And that's all thanks to Sosie Bacon. She was great in this role as Rose Cotter. And she stole the show. And every scene she was in, which was literally, there was not a scene that she wasn't in. Most of the time when they film movies, whether it's in horror or comedy or whatever, the main character sometimes usually takes a break and they go to like a side character dealing with this or another side character dealing with that. But with this movie, she was in it like the whole entire way through. That was dedication there. And this is probably the first movie in a while that I've seen like that, where the main character, the main protagonist, just fills up the whole entire movie. That makes you know that that's her movie. This is Sosie Bacon's movie. But she was in full dedication mode, and as you can tell by my tone, this is not a down on her part at all. Every scene she was in, which was the whole entire movie, like I said, she gave it her all. And you could just feel this woman's pain and this thing that's happening to her. The way she performs it, she was awesome. She was a delight. Exactly what your horror movie really needs is an actor like this that can give the type of performance she did. And the whole entire freaking movie, no doubt. They didn't even cut away to do like another scene with anybody else. She was in every freaking scene. Again, that's a good thing. If it wasn't for her performance, this movie probably would have tanked with me, but because of her performance, yeah. Not a single bad thing out of this guy's mouth. And she was perfect. The trauma and just all that dedication. Aces. And you got Kal Gallner, who I recently saw in the last Scream movie. He played a pretty cool, side character to the main character. How you usually have to have these side characters to like feed off the main characters. And I thought he was pretty cool. He was a good addition to the film. He's just one of those characters that was, a good fit for the main character. And you got Kal Penn, who's in it a little more than what the trailers had you to believe. He was in it a little more than a cameo role. He was a side character, but it was pretty cool seeing him. He's mostly known for his comedies, so it was pretty cool seeing him in a movie like this. And it was a pretty cool score. I guess you wouldn't quite call it a score. I mean, I really wouldn't. It was mostly based on background sounds that would usually lead you up to a jump scare. It was not instrumental or anything. But it was a good lead-in for like the jump scares to follow shortly after. It wasn't instrumental. It wasn't anything like what you get in a nightmare movie or a Halloween. It wasn't really that instrumental, but again, it worked for the movie because the jump scares, that really added to the jump scares because the way those played out, those were aces. Those were perfect. And it wasn't these cheap-ass jump scares either. They felt real. You don't get any tap on shoulders or somebody surprises somebody by saying, ah, or screaming or cheap sound effects. It was actual genuine jump scares because you jump and something would actually be there. It wasn't disappointing. Now, I really enjoyed this movie. I really did enjoy this film. But where it falters, and getting back to what I said about the trailers, and this may be a little bit my fault, but, I go to the movies a lot, so, oh well, I can't help it. But where it falters for me and jumping into the negatives, this is like little minors, mostly towards the marketing. And this is not with the fault of the film at all. I think the film was great, but I think just the way that they marketed it, they showed a little bit too much. I mean, they showed way too much, actually, in the trailers. Almost to the point to where certain things in this movie I was already expecting. They still played well, the shock value, but I was expecting it. Almost to the point to where, like, certain other things that it didn't show in the trailer, I was like, well, okay, I knew that was going to happen. How did I figure that out? Oh, man, shit. But yeah, they showed too much in the trailer, and it just made me expect most of the things in there. But again, that's very minor because the movie as a whole is really good. It's just the marketing, they could have done a little better. They could have kind of shortened the ads and the trailers a little bit. Because like most of the things that was supposed to shock, like most people, which even though it still shocked me, with some scenes, I seen it coming, so that kind of took a little something away from it, in my perspective anyway. But all in all, guys, this was a really good movie. I definitely recommend you checking it out. It's something you can enjoy with your friends and just put it on a pedestal. So Smile, what was your thoughts on it? Was this on a high note? Did this put a smile on your face? Or did this make you frown? Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, once again for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share the big four. Make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing either. So I can be all up in your face. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.